I was standing in our kitchen, reheating leftover lasagna, when my phone buzzed. It was a message from my wife. 5 words that hit me like a sledgehammer. I'm not coming back. I froze. The microwave beeped behind me, but I didn't move. I just stared at the screen, heart slamming against my ribs. Another message came in seconds later. I've met someone much better. And younger. Don't bother calling. That was it. No explanation. No build-up. Just done. My mind tried to fill in the blanks. She was supposed to be in Tulum on a girls' trip with her 3 childhood friends. They'd planned it for months. Beach resorts, margaritas, the usual. I'd even helped her pack. I texted back something short. Just, excuse me. No answer. I rushed to the computer, logged into our joint bank account. My stomach dropped. $0. Gone. Everything. $22,000 we'd been saving for a home renovation. Vanished overnight. I clicked around frantically and found a new transfer in the activity log. From our joint account to her personal account. Timestamp 2:16 a.m. So while I was dead asleep, dreaming like a fool, she was draining our future dry. I called her. Straight to voicemail. She didn't even block me. Just turned off her phone. That's how confident she was in her betrayal. Like she believed I'd just take it. I sat down, trying to process what the hell was happening. My marriage, 10 years, was over. Not even with a fight. Not even with a warning. Just a smug text from paradise and an empty account. She thought I'd crumble, but I didn't. I opened a bottle of bourbon, poured myself a glass, and started planning. Background context. Her name's Layla. We met at a mutual friend's party when we were both 28. She was dazzling charismatic, always the loudest laugh in the room. We got married after 14 months of dating. She worked in PR. I was a systems engineer. We were a good team. At least, I thought we were. But looking back now, the signs were there. She never liked stability, she tolerated it. I was the safe guy. The guy who paid the bills, fixed the router, planned vacations, and never raised his voice. And she needed that for a while. Until she didn't. She wanted adventure again. Excitement. Spontaneity. And apparently, some shirtless bartender with abs and a man bun met that description. Her friends knew. I guarantee it. One of them probably even helped. That's the part that hurts more than the cheating, the cold, calculated setup of it all. That night, I pored over every detail. Our finances. Her recent texts. Her travel plans. And I found something delicious. You see, I had access to our tax files, her investment account logins, everything. Because she never bothered to change them. She trusted me too much. And that's when I saw it. She forgot about the secondary account. We'd set it up 5 years ago when we were trying to save for IVF back when we thought kids were still in the cards. It had been collecting interest ever since, just sitting there. A little over $31,000. She hadn't touched it. And guess whose name it was under? Just mine. She forgot I still had a few moves left. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I poured another glass of bourbon. Then I typed 3 words back. Good luck, Layla. She had no idea that by the time she'd wake up the next morning, she'd lost a lot more than our savings. The next morning, I woke up to the soft ping of a PayPal alert on my phone. Deposit received, $2,000. From Layla Evans. My eyes narrowed. She tried to slide some of the money to herself quietly, probably hoping to move it around and stash it before I caught on. Too late, sweetheart. She didn't know I'd already locked everything down. Because while she was asleep next to Mr. Beach Abs, probably dreaming of sipping mezcal on a yacht, I was rerouting every asset, resetting every password, freezing every credit card, and preparing to make her new freedom a living nightmare. Here's what I did, step by step. 1. Drain the secondary account. The forgotten one, $31,000 and change. Gone before sunrise. Moved into a new account in my name at a different bank she had no access to. I used that money to pay off my car, max out contributions to my IRA, and fund a retainer for a lawyer. The rest went into a high-yield account. 2. Canceled the joint credit cards. She'd already maxed out one trying to upgrade, her trip last minute. Hotel suite, poolside spa service, private chef for one night. Cute. Now, all those charges were frozen and flagged for fraud. I reported the cards stolen. The bank issued new ones to me only. 3. Locked the house down. We were renting a 3-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. Lease was in both our names, but utilities, internet, streaming services, her Peloton subscription, all under mine. Every account was changed overnight. Every password reset. I even scheduled a disconnection for the internet and power, effective the day she was set to return. Let her walk into a dead house and try calling someone with no Wi-Fi. 4. Checked our shared calendar. Yes, Layla kept a calendar for everything. Doctor's appointments, brunches, spa days, and I found something interesting. Meeting with Ross at 11 a.m., coffee? Ross. The guy she swore was just a friend from her gym. The same guy I once saw texting her after midnight with the contact name Rosa Sunflower to throw me off. They were meeting 2 days before she left for Tulum. That explained a lot. Probably the final planning session for their little coup. By the time she woke up, everything was gone. I know because at exactly 10:42 a.m., she finally texted. What the F *** K did you do? No, hi. No, I'm sorry. No attempt at even a half-assed lie. I replied with a screenshot of our bank balance. 0. Then a message. Shouldn't have blinked, Layla. You missed the sleight of hand. Enjoy paradise while it lasts. She didn't respond for over an hour. That's when I got a call from her friend Carly. Now Carly and I were never close, but she was the most level-headed of her trio. She starts off with some fake politeness. Hey, I'm sure this is all just a misunderstanding before shifting to full Karen mode. You can't just take all the money, she snapped. That's marital property. Actually, I said calmly, the joint account she stole from is under review by the bank. And the other account? Was never joint. Then I asked her something that shut her up completely. Carly, were you there when she transferred the money? She hesitated. Because if you were, and you encouraged it, that's financial conspiracy. Silence. Click. I called my lawyer that afternoon. Told him everything. He was a divorce shark who came highly recommended by a coworker whose ex had tried to steal her business. I told him I didn't want reconciliation. I wanted results. His response? We'll destroy her in mediation. You've already won. Let's just make it legal. Later that evening, I made dinner for one and turned on Netflix like it was just another Tuesday. Meanwhile, Layla was blowing up my phone, alternating between rage texts, guilt trips, and desperate voice messages. You can't do this to me. You stole from me. Don't make this harder than it has to be. I messed up, okay. But you're being cruel. I didn't reply. Let her scream into the void. She thought I'd be sitting at home crying, shattered. She had no idea I was 6 steps ahead and still loading the next weapon. At 2 a.m. that night, she finally sent the one message I'd been waiting for. Just 2 words. I'm sorry. I screenshotted it. Saved it. Because what she didn't know was her new man was already gone. And soon, she'd lose the one thing she prized even more than money. Layla's apology came in at 2 a.m. I'm sorry. I didn't answer. She needed silence more than sympathy. By the next morning, I knew something was wrong. Not for me, for her. She sent 10 messages in a row. Long ones. Begging, rambling, all over the place. That's when she admitted it. He left. I don't know what happened. He just said he needed space. Of course he did. She gave up a 10-year marriage for a guy who vanished the second the trip was over. Some 26-year-old smooth talker who probably saw her as a free vacation and a few nights of fun. She tried to spin it like she ended things. He wasn't who I thought he was. I made a mistake. Maybe we can talk when I get back? I poured myself coffee, opened her message, and tapped one button. React with thumbs down. That was it. She lost it. Called me 5 times in a row. I didn't answer. That day, I met with my lawyer again. We drafted the paperwork. Divorce, no spousal support, evidence of financial misconduct, abandonment. I had screenshots of her texts, bank transfers, and social media posts from her trip where she bragged about new beginnings. She was still technically abroad when she got served via email and certified notice. Her next message? You're actually doing this? I responded with one word. Yes. 2 days later, she came home. I knew she had a key, but what she didn't know was that the locks had been changed, the cameras upgraded, and her closet emptied. I boxed up her things and left them in the garage. When she tried to come in, she triggered the motion alert on my phone. I watched live as she stood outside the front door, banging and crying. I stepped outside calmly, coffee in hand. You cheated. You stole. You left, I said. You don't get to come back just because the backup plan bailed. But where am I supposed to go? Not my problem. She left after 10 minutes of begging. Her final words? You're not the man I married. No, I said. He respected you. The next day, I posted a single update to my socials. Layla left me for someone better. Then he ghosted her. She tried to come back. The door stayed locked. The comments exploded. But one stood out from her cousin. Wait till you find out why she really went on that trip. I DM'd her immediately. Because apparently, there was more. A lot more. Her cousin messaged me back that night. You deserve to know. Layla didn't just cheat. She planned it. The trip wasn't just for fun. It was a setup. Turns out, the so-called girls' trip wasn't 3 friends going to Tulum to relax. It was 2 friends and him, the guy she ran off with, Ross. Layla invited him. They booked separate flights, rented a villa under one of the friends' names. It was all coordinated weeks in advance. Not just a fling, a full-blown exit strategy. And the worst part? She was bragging about it. Her cousin told me. She said you were boring, safe, predictable. Said she'd evolved past you. That word stuck with me, evolved. Like I was a phase, a stepping stone. 10 years of loyalty downgraded to a punchline. Her cousin was furious. Said Layla had used her, 2 promised to pay for the trip, then backed out last minute. That's why she flipped. Layla burned too many bridges. I thanked her, then asked her a question that had been clawing at me. Why did she try to come back so fast? Was it just because he ghosted her? Her answer? Not just that. He told everyone Layla lied about being divorced. When he found out she wasn't, he dumped her. Said he didn't sign up to be the other man. So Layla had nuked her marriage, drained our account, and tried to build a new life on lies, only to get caught. And now she was left with nothing. I wish I could say I felt satisfied. But I didn't. Not yet. Because while she was spinning in circles, trying to rebuild, I was already working on the final blow. See, Layla didn't know about the letter I'd found. She didn't know what I was about to do with it. End of part 4 cliffhanger. It was buried in a drawer, an old legal envelope from 5 years ago. The name on it? Layla Jensen Evans. From the Davis Family Trust. I opened it again. My hands started shaking when I remembered what she'd told me back then. It's nothing. Just old inheritance stuff. It wasn't nothing. It was everything. The letter wasn't from old inheritance stuff. It was from her grandparents' trust, something Layla had never wanted to talk about. Back then, she shrugged it off. But now? I opened it again and actually read it. It detailed the terms of a family trust, assets she stood to inherit only under very specific conditions. And the most important clause? Funds are to be dispersed to the beneficiary provided they remain legally married at the time of withdrawal. Let that sink in. Layla had told me, years ago, that the trust was meaningless. I'm never touching it. It's tied up in probate. That was a lie. She'd been quietly planning to access it after the divorce. But in her arrogance, she misread the clause. She thought being recently divorced wouldn't matter. Wrong. According to the trust, divorce nullified her claim, even if it happened a day before the release date. And guess what? That date was in 6 weeks. I stared at that clause, barely believing what I was reading. Her whole plan. Ditch me, grab the cash, live it up with some wannabe beach Casanova, hinged on her thinking I'd stay stuck, chasing closure. Instead, I was filing for divorce 6 weeks early. She played herself. I booked a meeting with the trust lawyer, brought the marriage certificate, divorce filing, and yes, her text admitting she left me for someone else. The lawyer blinked, then just said, well, she won't be inheriting anything. That much is clear. The next day, Layla texted me again. She was starting to unravel. You could feel it in every message. I made a huge mistake. He meant nothing. I just needed to feel alive. Can we meet? Just talk. I didn't answer. Instead, I emailed her a photo. Just one. The trust letter, underlined. Effective immediately, all funds are forfeited in the event of divorce. Underneath it, I typed, you should have read the fine print, Layla. She didn't respond right away. But later that night, she sent one final message. You ruined my life. No, Layla. You did that yourself. And I was just getting started. Because what she really cared about was about to vanish next. After the trust bomb dropped, Layla disappeared off the radar for 2 days. No texts. No calls. Total radio silence. I figured she was scrambling, trying to figure out how to fix what couldn't be fixed. And then, she posted on Facebook, taking a break from social media. Please respect my privacy during this time. That was it. No mention of what happened. No accountability. Just a vague victim note to make people wonder who hurt poor Layla. So I made my move. I'd kept quiet publicly. Until now. But the people who mattered our mutual friends, some of her coworkers, even her family, deserve the truth. I wrote one short post and shared it everywhere. My wife went on a girls' trip, stole our savings, and texted me that she found someone younger and better. She's now broke, single, and blocked. Thanks for the concern, everyone. I'm doing just fine. No insults. No slander. Just the truth, wrapped in fire. And the comments? Exploded. Dozens of friends reached out privately. People who'd been suspicious of her behavior for a while. Even one of her coworkers messaged me. She said you were checked out emotionally and gave her no choice. That's how she justified it at work. Another lie. Classic Layla. Reframe the story, shift the blame, paint herself as the heroine escaping the villain. Not this time. But the real hit came when her boss reached out. Apparently, Layla had been trying to use her job's flexible remote policy to extend her vacation with Ross, without approval. And when she ghosted work during that entire week of chaos, they started reviewing her activity logs. Turns out she'd been clocking in 4 client calls while sipping cocktails in Mexico. They suspended her. Indefinitely. So now Layla had no money, no man, no marriage. And now? No job. She called me at 11:43 p.m. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail, sobbing. You've destroyed me. Please. I'll do anything to fix this. I saved the audio file and forwarded it to my lawyer because she didn't know what was coming next. I was about to take back everything she ever touched. The next morning, I met with my lawyer for the final asset split paperwork. Layla was expecting a battle. What she got instead was a surgical dismantling of her leverage. See, when she drained the joint account, she thought that gave her power. But legally, it gave me ammo. Her financial misconduct and written admission of abandonment made it open and shut. My lawyer filed a motion to assume full control of marital property until the split was finalized. And the judge approved it, which meant I could do this. Transferred the lease of our apartment to my name only. Reclaimed the car registered in my name. She'd been driving it while sleeping on her friend's couch. Closed her access to the remaining joint insurance and benefits. Filed for civil reimbursement of the money she stole. She had 14 days to respond. That afternoon, I got a call from her lawyer, some newbie who sounded like he'd just learned what a prenup was. She's open to reconciliation, he said. Would you be willing to meet in person? I laughed. Is that before or after she admits to fraud, cheating, and trying to gaslight me in court? He went quiet. I told him to let her know I wasn't just done. I was done forever. Layla, of course, didn't take that well. That night, she came to the apartment, unannounced. Again. But this time, she found herself facing a security guard who had clear instructions. Do not let her in. Do not speak to her. Just hand her this envelope. Inside was the finalized asset proposal. It left her with nothing but her personal belongings, her clothes, and her choices. The next morning, I got a single text from her. No greeting. No excuses. Just one line. Did you ever actually love me? I stared at the screen, then typed. Enough to never do what you did. After I turned her away at the apartment, I thought she might finally get quiet. She didn't. She pivoted. A day later, a mutual friend sent me screenshots from Layla's new social media post. Some people will abandon 10 years of marriage over one mistake. I made a bad call. I'm human. But the punishment I've received is beyond cruel. The comments were split, some clueless people offering hugs and sympathy. But the real ones? Her old co-workers, our longtime friends, even one of her cousins? They started blowing it up. One wrote, You didn't make a mistake. You tried to replace your husband mid-vacation like it was a timeshare trial. Another, Didn't you say he was boring while you were planning the trip with your new boy toy? What happened to, I've evolved past him? She deleted the post within an hour. Too late. Her own story turned against her. Meanwhile, her cousin, the one who originally tipped me off, messaged again. Apparently, Layla had quietly started floating the idea of moving back home with her parents, a last resort. But her parents? Not interested. Turns out, they knew about the trust money. They'd counted on it. Her father had made investments under the assumption Layla would help cover future costs. Now, they were pissed. She didn't just burn her marriage. She nuked her safety net. Then came the final blow to her ego. An ex-coworker of hers who now works at another PR firm texted me. Just a heads up. She's blacklisted from 2 agencies. Word got around fast. Why? Because people remembered. And in PR, reputation is currency. And hers was bankrupt. The final papers were signed that Friday. 10 years. Gone with one signature. She texted me that night. I miss us. I didn't respond, because what she really missed was having someone to fall back on. The divorce was finalized. My lawyer called it clean, decisive, and brutal. Layla didn't contest the terms. She couldn't. She had no cards left to play. But 1 week later, she texted again. Can we meet? Just once. Please. I wasn't going to. I had nothing to say. But part of me wanted closure, not for her, but for me. So I agreed. We met at a coffee shop across town. Neutral ground. She showed up looking like she hadn't slept in days. No makeup, no fake smile, just raw Layla. I barely recognized her. She sat down quietly. First thing she said, I don't know who I am anymore. I stayed silent. Then she said it, finally. I was wrong. About everything. She tried to explain. Said she felt stuck. That she convinced herself our marriage was suffocating her. That Ross, he made me feel wanted again. But when the trip was over, so was he. She hadn't expected me to be the one who walked away. I thought you'd fight for me, she whispered. I stared at her. I did. Every day for 10 years. You just didn't notice until I stopped. Tears welled up in her eyes. She reached for my hand. I pulled mine away. She choked on a breath. Do you hate me? I took a sip of my coffee. No. I just don't believe in you anymore. That landed harder than yelling ever could. She wiped her eyes and asked, Is there anything left? I leaned back. Yeah, there's peace. For me. She left without finishing her drink. No hugs. No goodbyes. Just silence. And it was perfect. That night, I packed up the last of her things she didn't claim, photo albums, trinkets, old anniversary cards. I dropped them off at her cousin's place. A clean cut. No tether. As I drove home, I saw a message pop up from a new number. I pulled over. It was from Ross. You don't know me, but I owe you an apology. I didn't know she was married. Then, you deserved better. Hope you're doing okay. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I replied. I am. Finally. It's been 6 months since I signed the papers. I've moved to a new place, smaller, quieter, mine. No shared closets. No framed couple photos. No ghost of a love that never really saw me. I thought I'd feel empty after all this. I don't. I feel free. Layla's name barely comes up anymore. We're no contact. I hear things occasionally. She moved in with a friend temporarily, picked up a side gig doing freelance marketing. She tried dating again, but nothing stuck. People know her now. Really know her. That carefully curated image she built for years? Shattered. And the sad truth? She did it to herself. Not because she made a mistake, but because she weaponized my trust and thought I'd never fight back. As for me, I started rebuilding. Slowly. Intentionally. I went back to therapy, started lifting again, reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years. Took a solo trip to the Rockies. First real vacation I've had alone in over a decade. One morning, I woke up in a little mountain cabin, made coffee, and watched the mist roll off the trees. No texts. No drama. No tight knot in my chest wondering if the person I loved was lying to me. Just quiet. And peace. That's when it hit me. She didn't break me. She freed me. Sometimes people ask if I regret it, marrying her, trusting her, giving her those years. I don't. Because I learned the most important thing a man can learn. Your peace is priceless. And anyone who tries to steal it isn't love. They're a lesson.